Seems like everyone wants to stretch their dollar further. Fortunately, we have Rachel Cruz with us, a co-host of The Ramsey Show, financial expert, to kind of help out. Rachel, what do you tell people who are just always up against these higher natural gas prices? We just talked to some restaurant owners who are dealing with that. But, eggs, everything else, you name it. What do you do?
Yeah, it's so difficult, Neil. I mean, food is up 10%, eggs, like you mentioned, up 60%. And so the biggest thing is just being intentional, especially when it comes to your food budget. You know, food is the place that we tend to overspend. So honestly, one of the best things you can do is where you shop is really important. So things like the dollar store, for instance, not always $1, so remember that, but you can get better prices there, or places like Aldi, versus going to the really nice, more organic type grocery stores. You can find good quality food, but where you shop is really important.
Now, do all of these, and there are a lot of variations of dollar type stores, do a lot of them offer food?
Yes, majority of them do, actually. So yeah, you kind of think of them as one thing in your head.
Right.
But when you go in, you're like, yeah, you can get the basics at something like that. And a lot of people really are saving a ton of money by doing this. And honestly, buying generic versus name brands as well is going to save you money. So it's all about being intentional, Neil, and where you can shop online and do your grocery kind of click list type thing before you go and pick up your groceries is helpful, so you can see the total versus getting to the cashier, seeing that total and being like, oh my gosh, this is way more than I was expecting. You can plan ahead doing that as well.
Rachel, what are your thoughts of people who buy in bulk? Like when I see processed meats and cheeses on sale, I get boxes of this stuff, but I'm told by my doctor not a great idea. But how do you advise people who might be tempted? It's cheap, I'm going to buy a bunch of it.
I know. Well, you want to look at the price per ounce and really just do some math when you're there in the aisle to see, okay, and if it's perishable stuff, it's usually not as good of a deal. If you can freeze it, it's better, your paper products, all of that. But looking at the price per unit or price per ounce is going to help you decide, okay, is it better for me just to go to a grocery store and buy this? Or like you said, buy the 50 gallons of mustard we all want.
Right. There are still people who are attached to brands. They will only buy name brands. What do you tell them?
Well, if it's in your budget and you have the money and the margin to do it, then that's great. But for a lot of people, they're finding, gosh, we don't have a lot of margin. So like you were saying, the energy prices, electricity, food, gas, all of that, they're feeling that pinch. And so where you can find margin is key. And hopefully it's for a period of time. Hopefully you want to shop like this type, this way forever. But again, where you can cut corners, it's going to be worth it for you and your family, because I also want you to be smart with your money, and you know this, Neil, to be paying off your debts, to have savings in the bank. So those things are more important than what type of mac and cheese you buy.
Yeah, all good advice. Rachel, thank you very much. Rachel Cruz, she knows of what she speaks, and she avoids the temptation to pay a lot for processed meats and cheeses. That alone should tell you something.
That's right. Thanks,
Rachel,
Neil.
thank you very, very much.